Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. You can see there's snow on everything, quite a bit of snow. And one group of livestock on this farm are bedded down right in that black encased hive. And that's our honeybees. So they're in there keeping warm. You see a few of them coming out. And the goal here, or the hope here, is that they'll winter fine and this hive will be ready to go in the spring. If you look close, there's bees coming and going out of that little hole right in front. So while the hive is wintering over here, one of our jobs this time of year is to take the honey that came out of this hive and get it out of the honey comb. And it's kind of a process which starts up in the shop. So let's take a look.
I need to spin the rest of the honey out, but I need to drain some out first and filter it so I have room in, so I can extract the rest of my frames. And there's a wax cap on it. The bees cap it, so you have to take the cap off and then spin the honey out of the comb.
So what's it exactly doing?
Taking the cap off the...
Oh, look at that. It's just slicing that wax right off.
Yeah, kind of just melts the wax and slices it off. Once it starts to fly, it pushes them back to the other direction.
Centrifugal force pushes them out against the basket.
Yeah. Now let's just wait.
So that sounds that you can hear is honey hitting the outer walls?
Yep, probably wax and honey being thrown against the wall, and then it goes down into the cone at the bottom. Usually I get the bees either the first or second week in May, and they go in the hive. There's about 3,000 bees and one queen. I put them close to the hayfield so that they have early blossoms. They can get pollen and they can get sugar, and it also helps pollinate our hayfield at the same time. So they help each other out.
So when do they actually start getting honey in these frames?
I think after they collect enough pollen, I think they start collecting honey or making honey starting in July, because there's enough workers so that the ones that go out and collect come back, and then the other ones that are busy keeping the queen happy are still there, and they're producing bees every 21 days.
Larvae.
There's larvae, and then they either become workers or whatever they're supposed to be in the hive. I think our hayfield, we have better pollination because they're so close, and it just seems like I think we have better pollination, and I think we see more of that in the clover, the purple clovers, and then the all-site clovers as well.
This field is not as deep as the stuff we did last week, but it's got a lot of red clover in it. We got a lot of wildflowers too, and especially over in that end there's some low spots and a lot of red clover, and so it may take a little extra time to dry, but that's why we're using the disc vine on this with the flails, because it really breaks up that red clover and gives it a chance to dry. You can see, boy, this feels a little short, but the red clover is actually turning brown already. So it's ready to cut.
Oh, it definitely helps pollinate the apple trees. They go crazy when the blossoms come out. They are pollinating the trees, whether it be the apple or the cherry or the plum trees that we have. They help in all of that. See the comb? How empty it is?
Yeah, you're right. It's right down to the bottom.
Yep.
The honey's all gone.
I'm running the honey through a filter, the first filter.
That's what this thing is right here.
That's a filter, yeah.
And then, oh,
And then I'll take it in the house and I'll filter it again. So this is just to take the wings and the bee bodies out.
what's the reason for running it through a screen again?
This one, this hasn't been screened.
So this is right from
This was right from the
spinner.
Extractor. It wasn't filtered.
And what are you filtering out of it?
Well, there's wax. There might be some bee wings. There might be some who knows what.
So this is the coarse honey filter, and this is the fine honey filter, or the medium honey filter.
Stuff that will drain into a bowl because there's some honey in there yet. Through a cheesecloth, so it'll sit for a while.
Oh, it's already starting to drip though. Clean honey coming out of there.
Should be clean honey.
All right, so once the honey's been multiple filtered, what are you doing with it?
Putting it in my jars. I like to put it in jars because they're reusable. You have to have a label on there according to the there, to say if it's got sugar added or not and what ingredients are in it. Natural. It's a natural. Bees have a natural sugar. I put a honey dipper in it for my customers, and then they have a label on the front and the back. You know what? You don't have to get anything else sticky, just your honey dipper. And it's an easy way to keep your honey in there without having to get a new tool or a knife or anything else.